And what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Adulting with Donnie. This little thing that I do for virtually no reason. I shouldn't say that. That's not nice because there are, there's a couple handfuls of people, literally tens of people that tune in to listen to my nonsense all the time. And I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. This week, I want to start off. First of all, it's fucking Wednesday. And I did so good at doing these on Friday nights every week for like 4 or 5 weeks. I was like getting back in a groove. And then, Jason Almy came and fucked it all up for me. But I've been trying to get back. At least I've been consistent. That's at least you can say that. You can't take that away from me. For the last 2 or 3 months, I've been consistently doing this every week. So at least there's that. Let's at least give me that. There was a couple of things that I wanted to get off the top, right at the top here. Because like most people, the people that listen to the podcast version of this listen to the entire show, which is great. But the people that tune in for the live version, usually they're only tuning in for like the first, 10 or 15 minutes max. And then, going on with the rest of their life. And then the rest of the people that see any bit of the live show might tune in for a minute or two, near the end. So this week, obviously I want you to hear the whole fucking show. But the most important things I'll knock out at the top, which are a little kind of heavy, as I tend to get once in a while. And then the rest of the show will just be kind of my bullshit of what I've been doing the last week or so. So I want to talk about kind of my own recent difficulties with my a topic that I fucking hate to talk about, but I'm going to because that's what I do, which is my PTSD. Kind of some of my recent difficulties with it. I had a dream a couple weeks ago, and this, I dream all the time. Obviously, I mean, like most people, I have dreams, weird ass dreams and fucking fun dreams and funny dreams and whatever. And I've had dreams in the past about my tours overseas. And they've never really affected me. But man, this one a couple weeks ago, it woke me up. I mean, it literally woke me up. I was laying in bed the last couple months or so. My mate, my girlfriend, she has been just absolutely crazy at work. She's had to work some really long and late nights. And so we haven't been able to go to bed together as much as we used to. When we first started dating, I talked about it a week or two ago, that when we first started dating, it was during, COVID, and her work schedule was kind of more structured, I guess is the best way to put it. So we were going to bed together just about every night. Plus back then, at that time, I wasn't working out. I wasn't getting up early. I was drinking until, even before we started dating, I was drinking until 1 or 2 in the morning. So I was getting by on, going to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning and waking up at 6:30 or 7 in the morning to go to work. Not healthy, but I was making it work. I was figuring it out along the way. But either way, I had a dream a couple weeks ago now. I'm laying in bed and I hear this whoosh, like that's the best mimicking I can do of the sound that I heard, so in the dream, I'm back in Iraq, and I hear that's the sound of a rocket flying overhead, which happened to me one night. Like I was standing at an entry control point one night. Me and my friend Dawson were standing there just shooting the shit, and we hear a rocket go literally right over our heads. It must have been a dud of some sort because it went right over our heads, and then nothing, no explosion or anything. It really fucking pissed me off, actually. The whole incident kind of pissed me off because it was like a fucking redneck. It was like a fucking drunk redneck seeing a UFO. All right. That's almost exactly the best way to put it, because this happened to us. There was 4 or 5 of us, maybe 6 or 7 of us that heard this happen. And all of us fucking ducked and covered, ran for a bunker. And then there was no explosion. So this, whatever that was shot over our heads, just never detonated. I don't know what happened. You know, who the fuck knows what happened. But we called it in as we were supposed to. And because no one else heard it, no one else saw anything, nobody heard anything, they all thought that we were just fucking crazy. Which still to this day, it's been 18 fucking years. And still to this day, it bothers the shit out of me. That we were treated like that. I mean, that's a vivid memory of mine from 18 fucking years ago, and to tell me that, you know, to sit there that night and, you know, from your fucking safety of your fucking building, doing dispatch or whatever it is that you were doing, and to tell me that I didn't hear what I heard. And I mean, it'd be one thing if it was just me, then maybe I could understand, at least I could understand your position. Like, I can tell you right now that, oh, you know, back in 2013, I was standing outside the post office and I think I saw a UFO, but it was just me in the parking lot and there was no one else around to look at it and nothing else was ever reported. Then yeah, sure, look at me and be like, oh, Donnie's fucking lost his mind. But there was like 6 or 7 of us there that night that heard it, and it was real enough that we all ran for bunkers. And you know, then, you know, for our higher ups to be like, oh yeah, you didn't actually hear anything, or you probably just heard a plane flying overhead, just some bullshit like that. Like, anyways, in the dream, I hear that sound and it woke me up. I like snapped up out of bed, heart's racing. I'm waiting for an explosion because I'm waiting for it to hit the ground. And I was like, okay, nothing happened. It was just a dream. I'm going to, you know, I realize where I am. I figure out, you know, I realize that I'm home. I'm safe. It's 2022. I go back to bed. And almost as soon as I close my eyes, like as soon as I start to drift off back to sleep, I hear the explosion, which then snaps me awake again. And now I'm waiting for just a fireball of some sort to take out our apartment. And then it was kind of just the same thing over again. You know, I realized that, you know, nothing's actually going to happen, and I fall back asleep, and the rest of the night goes fine. But yeah, that's just, you know, that's just one example of a handful of like recent things that have gone on. Excuse me, that have affected me, I guess is the best way to put it. And it you know, had me thinking about a handful of things, right? Of course, you know, I think about the 10, 12, 15 years where I was in like these really dark places, and I guess trying to navigate my way through them, and especially doing it by myself. Trying to do so many things by yourself is not easy. I shouldn't say we all, but I think that there's a lot of us who would like to think like, you know, I'm fine, I'm doing all right, I don't need the help, I don't fucking, you know, I don't want to burden someone else. I know that that's always been a big problem with me. Like, I've had people reach out to me that have been like, I'm having a bad night, I'm having a rough time today. And I have literally no problem talking to these people. And I'm happy that they reach out to me. Whenever it happens, whenever these moments happen, I always walk away from them thinking, I'm so happy that this person felt comfortable reaching out to me. And I'm happy, and I'm happy that I was comfortable enough to express how I felt during my extreme dark periods. And I mean, I was talking to, I had my own little therapy session today, and during that session, I talked about how, you know, I like to think that I have come out of like this dark cloud. I've come out of this big black cloud, and everything is sunshine and rainbows now. And I'm slowly realizing that I'm not necessarily out of that black cloud. Like, that black cloud is always going to be there. These things are always going to just be there, and it's something that I'm gonna, you know, this is like kind of my next step in, I don't want to call it a healing process, because I don't know that I could ever actually fully heal. You know, it doesn't sound like it from what I have been spending my time researching and learning. doesn't necessarily sound like healing, completely anyways, is something that could ever really happen. All I can do is just continue to work at things and be better. But failure, weakness, vulnerability, these are things that they send a signal to the people around you that say, I need you, I can't do this by myself. And you can't move forward without being vulnerable. I had to spend a lot of time. I spent a lot of time being vulnerable. And nobody likes that feeling. People fucking hate the feeling of vulnerability. People hate the feeling of I'm not strong enough to get through this moment. And I applaud all the people who, the people that have reached out to me in the past and said, hey, I'm having a moment right now. Can we talk? I applaud the people who have called the, suicide prevention lines. I talked to a guy a year ago, and I hadn't seen him in a few weeks. And this is a guy that I was seeing on a daily basis. I hadn't seen him in a few weeks. And so I finally see him again, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, where you been? And he says, oh man, I just went through a really rough time. For like a month or a month and a half, I had some real problems mentally. And, I even had to call the suicide prevention line. And I was like, damn, man, that's fucking crazy. And we talked for a few minutes. And then it was, the next day I went back in to the same place, and I said, hey man, I just want to let you know, like, I really admire the fact that you called that number. Because I've dealt with my own mental health issues for years, and that's something that I was never, I've been a big advocate of telling people to use that number, and yet I've never, I'm sorry, my girlfriend just sent me an image that that surprised me. Nothing naughty, just it surprised me to see. But anyways, yeah. So I promote this number all the time, and I've never been good about reaching out for my own help. It also had me thinking about kind of old times, Native American times, being in a tribe. I don't remember what we were watching. It might have been True Blood. Hold on, let me just reply to my mate here real quick. No, whoops, not 9. No, thank you. For fuck's sake. Sorry about this. Drive safe. I love you. Anyways. It had me thinking about tribes and nomads and packs. I don't remember what we were watching. It might have been True Blood. But something had me thinking either way about like what I would have done. Because on the one hand, I'd like to think that I would, I shouldn't say I'd like. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I think that I would be better in a nomadic way. Like, I don't want to be a bother to anyone. I don't want to live in any sort of commune. I don't want to take other people's shit, and I don't want to give people my stuff. So I do wonder, like, what I would have been like back then, way back then, 400 or 500 years ago. What would I have ended up as? Would I have been in a tribe of some sort where, you send out 6 or what if it happened in the future? What if 10, 15, 16, 20 years from now, something happens and we're all knocked back 400 years? There's no more, there's no fucking internet. There's no, transportation. We're all fucking, something happened. I don't know. An asteroid hits us or something. Where would I end up? Because, I watched, I know that it's super realistic, but I watched The Walking Dead. And something that blew my mind about The Walking Dead was the fact that they're just always moving. Like, they are literally in a tribe. They have their group of people, but they were constantly moving from one place to another. So I don't fucking know. I don't know. I think that I would end up, being more like, look, I want to be just by myself. I'm going to go out and fend for myself. I don't, I don't want you guys to have to give me your stuff. I definitely don't want to have to give you my stuff. So I don't know. Just had me thinking about that a little bit. I guess I've gotten, I don't know, maybe I've gotten through kind of the heavier stuff. I guess my point of the whole thing was you can't move forward without being vulnerable. You gotta you're gonna have to give up some control over your fucking life. Whatever you're going through, whatever it is that you're having a fucking problem with, you're gonna have to give up some element of control. Like you need to first thing you should do, all right? First thing you should do is work on your relationship with your body, okay? And now, I know that for the last year and a half, I've been talking about working out. So this next part might annoy you, and I'm not sorry. Work on your relationship with your body, because you have to treat your body well. If you treat your body well, it will treat you well back. Meaning, like, you can't live off of McDonald's and Twinkies and shit food and garbage food 24 hours a day and expect to live very long. You can't expect to have a health, you may as well be, if you're in your 30s right now, you may as well go to the doctor and say, look, in my 50s, you're going to be telling me that I fucked up and I'm okay with it. You may as well say that. That's what you may as well say. Work on your relationship with your body. Fucking treat your body well. Get some exercise, eat the right foods. That's a huge one. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm far, far, far from perfect about this. All right. I've been very bad about my working out in the last month and a half because it's been very difficult to wake up at 4 and get my ass to the gym and get motivated. It's been hard. I'm trying to do my best at it, but the only thing I would say for myself is at least I'm trying. I try to eat right in the meantime, in that, if I can't go to the gym, then at least I'm trying to not eat junk food during the day or try to limit my intake at night or whatever. Tonight I'm drinking non-alcoholic Coors. I do also have a glass of whiskey here, but, I'm drinking non-alcoholic Coors because of the calories and the sugar and the carbs and stuff is so much lower than regular Coors. So, I do try, which is more than I can say for some people. So you got to work on your relationship with your body. Once you get your relationship with your body figured out, then, and I'm not, once again, I am not saying that I'm perfect at any of these. These are 3 steps that I'm going to tell you. I'm not good at any of these, but I am at least trying. So after you work on your relationship with your body, work on your relationship with people. All right. Are you maintaining your healthy relationships with your closest friends, with your not closest friends, with your family? Healthy relationships. I'm not saying I still don't have a relationship with my dad or my sister or my brother. I probably never will with some of those people. Because I have healthy boundaries and I know what I want in my life. So I got to be careful with what I let into my life. I got to be very careful with what I let into my life. My life is, for me personally, and I don't mean to fucking rub it in anyone's fucking face. If you have a problem with any time that I've ever mentioned how happy I am, you can fuck all the way off, okay? I don't care. I will tell you all over and over again that things are really, really good. As I said already once in this episode, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. But things are better now than they have been in the last 15, 20 years. All right. In my adult life anyways, things are better now than they've ever been. So, sorry if it annoys you when I bring it up. I just don't care. You don't have to listen to this show. There's nothing that forces you to listen to the things that this isn't fucking Russia. You don't have to listen to anything that I say. But if you want to listen to anything that I say, work on your body, work on your relationships with other people, and then work on yourself. Work on your relationship with yourself. Do you actually enjoy time by yourself? Do you enjoy being by yourself? If you're by yourself in a room, like, my girlfriend, not home tonight. Well, not home right now. She's on her way home right now. And I've been home for the last 4-ish hours. I've been home for about 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. And I've been by myself, and I enjoy my own company. I don't 4 years ago, if I had to sit at home, where home was, if I had to sit there by myself, I'd be crying. I would be, on the edge of suicide. I would be, in a really dark place. I'd be fueling those bad thoughts. It was just ugly. And I did not enjoy being alone, and I didn't even know where to go to not be alone. I didn't know what to do. I was for 12, 15 years, I was a completely lost person. Now I actually enjoy, if I have to be by myself for X amount of time, I'm fine with it. Ro went to Florida a few weeks ago, and I was by myself for the weekend, and I was totally fine with it. So those are my three recommendations from a completely unqualified person. If you're looking for 3 recommendations on how to better your life, work on your relationship with your body, work on your relationship with other people, work on your relationships with yourself. Okay, work on a relationship with yourself. There, now you have my completely unsolicited advice on how to start making your life better. All right, that's at least a start. I've given you at least a jump off point. Here's a starting line, letting you know how you are when you've made it 5 feet. All right, there's a start point. Let's start there with those 3 things. All right, and let me know how you do after you've worked on those 3 things. If you want to make your life, if you're in a down place right now and you want to work on making your life better. All right. Now moving on into the less heavy part, because what time is it? It's 8:13 right now. I'm already 22 minutes into this thing. I gotta wrap it. When I wrap this up, I'm gonna be able to pull off at least an hour tonight. But when I wrap this thing up, I'll be able to. When I wrap this thing up, I gotta jump into New England Natives with Tom. So him and I are going to do our show tonight. So as has been for the last week or two, it's like a podcasting night of sitting here in front of the camera. So, I wanted to talk about this because, as many of you know, I had I had issues. All right, we'll put it that way. Prior to Ro and I dating, I had some issues. I follow this couple on Facebook. Like I'm scrolling through my Facebook, reels one day, and I see this couple, and they're super cute, and they were really funny, and I watched a bunch of their videos, and I was like, oh my God, I love these two. They're so funny. They're so much fun. I sent a couple of the reels to Ro. I was like, I was watching them. I thought they were so great, and they're like in fucking West Virginia or something like that. And then I hadn't seen any new reels from them in a little bit, in a couple weeks, 2 or 3, 4 weeks. And I was like, oh no, I hope that nothing happened. I know they were engaged. Like, what? I hope nothing happened. And I remembered the guy's Instagram handle. And so I go to his Instagram handle, and I'm able to find out that they have a couples, like they have a couple. They have like an Instagram for their relationship. They have an Instagram page for just the two of them. So I go to that page, and they are still together, and they are still posting content. But then in their little bio on Instagram, it said Linktree. And I was like, oh no. When I saw that, I was like, ugh. Because I know every time that you see an Instagram page with a Linktree in their bio, I already know the websites that are going to be listed in that Linktree. There's going to be YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, I already said YouTube, and OnlyFans, and sure enough, there it was, OnlyFans, and I was like, oh man, come on. Like, I was just so disappointed when I saw this. I was disheartened, because I was like, come on, you guys are a super cute and fun couple. And before you ask, like, well, Donnie, maybe you don't know. Maybe like their OnlyFans is just like fucking Ariana Grande's OnlyFans page, or whoever, the big one. What was it? Bella Thorne? Some fucking big Disney star or something made an OnlyFans and made a couple $1 million off of an OnlyFans page. Without posting any form of sexual content. Before you ask, like, Donnie, you don't know, they might not be posting anything like that. They are. It's, because their Instagram feed is, their couple's Instagram page feed is just filled with mostly pictures of the female half of this in various positions of undress, is the best way to put that. And I saw that and I was just so like, oh, come on, guys, like, now I can't even watch their fucking content anymore. Like now, like, I don't even bother going to see if they've posted anything. I just completely lost interest because I was just so disappointed. I was like, you guys, and maybe you still do, I don't know, could have had something really great with just getting the likes on fucking TikTok and whatever with your little fun things and just being a fun couple. And you just had to take it to that next level for some crazy ass reason. And then when I brought this up to Ro a few weeks ago, because this happened a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago now. When I brought this up to Ro, she was like, have you seen this documentary on Hulu called I think it was called OnlyFans Selling Sexy, I think is what it was called. And I had not, and she had seen it, but she was like cooking in the kitchen, and she doesn't mind putting on something she's seen before while she's cooking in the kitchen. Like, I couldn't go put on, Jack Ryan. Like, Jack Ryan, season 3, episode 1 comes out next week. Like, I couldn't go put that on while she's cooking in the kitchen or something like that. Like, because she wants to sit down and watch that. But something she's seen before, like True Blood, she doesn't mind standing in the kitchen while I watch something like that. So I put on this documentary, and I mean, it was almost sad to watch, really. It was almost sad to watch because it was like this one girl, they highlight 3 or 4 different people in the documentary. And this one girl is like, well, I really wanted to build a race car, and I was going to need X amount of dollars to build this race car. And the race car was going to, I found out about this thing called OnlyFans, and, she's, I don't know, she was, I guess she's kind of cute for a white girl. I think if I remember right, she had some tattoos, and she was like a mechanic of some sort. And I mean, that always seems to, draw in, what a weird thing, right? It seems to draw in guys when a girl does a guy's thing, right? So, like, you take a girl working on cars, you take a girl riding dirt bikes, you take a girl, I don't know, racing cars, for whatever reason. I think that it's like, I think it's a different aspect of what I call the Danica Patrick effect, right? The Danica Patrick effect is something that I came up with when Danica Patrick came to NASCAR, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, she's so hot!" Like, it was. I think it actually goes beyond when she came to NASCAR. It had more to do when she did the GoDaddy thing, and she was doing Formula One or Indy, whichever one of those it was. But either way, my opinion was and always will be. You take Danica Patrick and you put her on a field with 42 other guys, and of course she's going to be the hottest girl. Of course, everyone's going to be like, "Oh my God, look at her!" She's, not everyone, but every straight male, I would say every straight male is going to look at her and go, "Look how hot she is," compared to the 42 guys standing next to her. But if you took Danica Patrick and you put her downtown Portsmouth on a Saturday night at the Gaslight, she's not going to be the hottest girl there. She might not even be in the 50th percentile. I think that the whole like putting it's weird. Like you put a woman into and I do think it actually works the other way too. Like women are attracted to men who can dance. Women are attracted to, like, you take all these stereotypes of, from back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s of like, a woman's job is cooking at home. A man's job is to work on the cars. You take those stereotypes from way back then and apply them to today, and then you take the opposite sex and put them into the role that, goes against what they're quote unquote supposed to be doing. And for whatever reason, the opposite sex is attracted to them. I don't know. These are just my opinions, okay? And I'm allowed to have them. But anyways, this OnlyFans documentary, it really was, it was very surprising to see, especially these people that they interviewed. There was a couple like big names that were interviewed, and they brought up some like, I don't actually, you know what? I don't think that there was some big names that were interviewed. There was Nikki Glazer. She's a comedian. She was interviewed. I've never seen her OnlyFans, but I don't know if she actually does anything. I highly doubt that she does any form of sexual thing on that because she is such a big comedian. But you take, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing. So, anyways, moving on. Much to the chagrin. Is that the word that I was looking for? I should have fucking looked that up before I said it. I think it is, but I don't. You know what? Now that I'm saying it, I don't think I was right in that. No, nope. Whatever the opposite of chagrin is. Much to my mate's pleasure. How about that? Much to my mate's pleasure, I will no longer be talking about my indecisiveness of whether or not I want to get the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, because last night I finally bit the fucking bullet and just fucking did it. I was like, I put out a thing on my personal Facebook page like a week ago saying, somebody tell me, because they have three options for size, right? There's a 128 gigabyte, there's a 256 gigabyte, and there's a 512 gigabyte. Now, the 128 is too small for me, mostly because of pictures and apps, and especially because of downloads, like music downloads and podcast downloads and all that other shit. Videos, like I know that I want the phone in the first place for its camera, so I know that I'm going to take more pictures and hopefully take more video. So, like, I'd like to get into some form of video editing. Like, I'd like to do more, like, I'd like to make some sort of video editing type of thing. And I was talking to Ro about that a couple weeks ago, because I forget how the topic came up, but we were talking about, like, things that we think that we would have been good at or something like that. Things that, other avenues of life that we might have gone down. And I was telling her, like, I really wish... I appreciate my parents, but I think that I've talked about it on here before. It kind of like I was pushed towards law enforcement, and I was pushed very, very hard towards law enforcement. Like I remember when I was around 12 years old, the road agent for the town of Fremont was doing some road construction just down the street from our house, and I loved watching excavators and bulldozers and all that shit. So I would go down and I'd just watch him work, and he knew me and he knew my family, so he would talk to me, and so I'm down there watching him one day, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to do some fucking shovel dirt or whatever he had me do?" And I started working with him. And he would pay me, like, I think at the time, we're talking 1995, 1994, something like that. And he would pay me $5 an hour to work with him, to help him do whatever it was he needed to, anything that he needed to do, I was willing to do it. So me and my mom, we're at church one day, and we're talking to my priest, and the priest says, "Do you know what you want to do when you grow up?" And I said, I want to do construction, is what I said. And my mom looks at the priest and goes, well, that's what he wants this week. This is the the second thing. So like growing up throughout my, single age years, I had said I wanted to be a police officer like my father. Then I'm 12 years old and I'm doing road construction, and I said I wanted to do road construction. This is the second thing that I've ever said in my life. My mother looks at the priest and she goes, well, that's what he says this week. Like, as if I'm changing my mind every week on what it is that I want to do. And I remember another moment sitting at a kitchen counter and kind of fucking with my mom, because I did want to be, at this time, I don't remember how old I was, but at this time I did want to be a police officer. But I was kind of fucking with my mom. And I said, I think I want to be a firefighter when I grow up. And my mother was like, you don't want to be a firefighter. You don't want, in the summer, you got the hot flames blowing at you. And in the winter, you're blowing cold water and that's coming back at you. And all I could think was like, that works the other way around, right? In the summer, the cold water's coming back at you. And in the winter, the hot fire's coming back at you. So it works the other way around too. Kind of balances itself out, right? But I was pushed so hard towards law enforcement that I never fucking considered anything else. I never even thought that I was good enough for anything else. And I still don't know if I possess the confidence to think that I am good enough for anything else other than being a fucking mailman. And I love my job, and I don't know where the fuck I would go in the first place. I don't know what I would do. My job pays very, very well, and for me, money is a big deal. I like to make money, and I like the fact that I made a lot of money this year. I like looking at the bills that I have and getting caught up on them. I like looking at the stuff that I have, like my truck and my snowmobile and this nice place that we live, and knowing that I can afford all this stuff. So I do like my job for that reason, but is it fulfilling work? I don't fucking know. Like, and what would I do? Like, me and Jason Alney, like our very first podcast that we did, we were talking about dream jobs. I know I've mentioned it before on here, but I'm going to do it again. We were talking about dream jobs, and he said, he was like, well, you're a person who actually kind of had your dream job. You were a police officer, and that was your dream job. And what I said to him was, a dream job is still a job at the end of the day. Like it doesn't really like pick whatever it is that you could possibly say. Think of whatever, like I remember thinking a while ago, like, oh, I love going out and shooting guns. It would be great to make a living off just shooting guns. But it's really, at the end of the day, it's still a fucking job. You still have to fucking get up and go to your job. I mean, is there actual freedom in any sort of thing like that? Like, I don't know, Kevin Brittingham, he's the owner of Q LLC, which is a firearms company. He seems to be enjoying whatever it is he does for work. I don't know if he's just collecting money or what, but it seems like he's in Africa every goddamn week, hunting. He's just, that's all, like once in a while you see him pop back up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire to like pop into his gun shop, but it seems like he is constantly in Africa. I mean, I can't imagine what the guy is spending on flights to and from. I mean, I looked into flights to Africa a few weeks ago and I was like, God damn. So, I don't know. My point is that your dream job is still a job. So, and talking about, what I would like to do, like, I don't know. I think that what Ro and I were saying a couple weeks ago, like she was like, what would you want to do, or what do you think you would do? I forget how she worded it. It might have been like, what do you think you'd be good at? And I genuinely think 100%. I totally believe this. I wish that I had gone this route when I was 10 years old. I wish that I had started working at this when I was 10. And maybe it's not too late. Who the fuck knows? But I genuinely think that I could, whatever the job title is for, if Machine Gun Kelly or Pink or Yellow Wolf or any fucking artist, whatever, pick an artist, any artist, Rise Against, who cares? I don't care who they are. Whatever the job title is, that band or singer comes to me and says, hey, I want to make a music video for this song. I genuinely think that I could listen to the song and be like, okay, here's my vision, and we will make this song happen. Like, Lil Wayne has a song called Mona Lisa. I fucking love it. There's no music video for it, and I always thought that if I could win fucking Powerball and make a music video for this song, I know exactly how it would go. I know how every scene of the song would play out. I know how every bit of the song would play out, and it would be fucking awesome. So who knows? Maybe it's not too late. I don't fucking know. But the long and the short of it is that I'm getting the S22 Ultra, and maybe you'll see more videos from me. So, moving on. I just mentioned looking up a flight to Africa. Well, if I want to go to Africa or anywhere else in the fucking world outside of America, I'm going to need my goddamn passport. So, Ro has been on me for years, for 2 years, 2.5 years, to get my passport. So, a month and a half ago now, I finally said, I'm going to do it. I put it off for a long time because every time I looked into it, every time I talked to someone about it, it sounded like such a process. It was like, you got to fucking go here, and then you got to go to fucking Rite Aid and get a passport picture done, and then you got to go here, and you got to do this, and there's all these steps, right? When I finally got my fucking passport done, when I went and did, it was so goddamn easy. It took fucking 15 minutes. All you got to do is make an appointment with the post office. You go, you pay the money, anywhere from $180 to $210. You go, you pay the money, and that's it. And they take your picture, you fill out some paperwork. It takes 15 fucking minutes to do the whole thing. It's so easy. It's absurd. And it bothers me that it seemed like such a process that I put it off for as long as I did. But either way, I finally fucking went and I do it all, fill out the paperwork. And they say it's going to take, I think it was like 5 to 8 or 5 to 9 weeks to get your passport back. And so I'm all excited about it. And I talked to a couple other people who've recently got their passport. And they said, yep, it takes about 5 weeks. It's closer to that 5-week time frame. I was super excited to get it. I've been, there's a website, check the status of your application, and it keeps saying in process. So last night I come home and I get a letter in the mail. Let's see here, hold on. Mike Richard, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Been doing electrical for 9 years, but it's never too late to switch it up these days. 100%, Mike. 100%, because just the other night on the news, me and Ro saw that some woman, she's like 90 something years old, and she just graduated college because when she was 20, she had her kids and left college to raise her kids and then raise her grandkids and then help raise her great grandkids. And she finally fucking had time to go back and finish. She's in her 80s or 90s. She's not going to do anything with that fucking degree, but at least she went and finished. So yeah, it really is never too late to do something. But I don't know. I'm happy where I'm at, and maybe that's the problem, is that I'm happy where I'm at, or I'm comfortable where I'm at, and I'm not willing to exit my comfort zone on this. Like, I'm willing to exit my comfort zone on so many other things, but when it comes to the possibility of like, oh no, I know where I'm at is safe, and I know that I'm never gonna lose my job, and I'm gonna be okay here, and all this shit. Maybe that's the problem. I should, at the very least, I should try to be more prepared for if that ever happened. What if the post office went obsolete or something? I don't fucking know. So anyways, last night I come home. I get a letter in the mail from the Department of State. Let me tell you something. I opened this letter. I was less than happy. This letter says that my passport was denied because of back child support. It was because I'm behind on child support. And I thought, no, I'm not. I am 100% not behind on child support. I pay bi-weekly out of my paycheck. It's automatically deducted. I've never gotten anything from Health and Human Services to say otherwise. And, I know I'm not behind. I know I am not. And I was quite upset last night when that happened. And I had this whole plan in my head to get my passport in the mail, and then I was just going to leave it on the counter for Roe as like a surprise with like a note saying, where are we going? Or let's go get this thing stamped or whatever. So I tell her about it last night instead because I got this letter, and I was frustrated, and she came home, and it wasn't like I could hide my anger. I never can from her. So I tell her the whole story, which is significantly longer than I just told you. And there's aspects of what was going on that I'm not willing to tell you. But I tell her the whole story last night, and I was like, I'm going to get it figured out. I'm going to go to Health and Human Services tomorrow morning, and I'll fucking find out what the fuck is going on. So I did. I went to the child support office today, and sure enough, I was like, hey, can you pull up my... I walked in, and there's this woman and a guy behind the counter. I was like, hey, can you pull up my account for me? This is how I start the whole thing. I go, can you pull up my account for me? And I give them all my information. They pull up my account, and the guy goes, yep, I can see you right here. Here's a payment here, a payment here. Yep. And I go, yeah, can you tell me how far behind I am in payments? The guy goes, yeah, no, you're not behind at all. In fact, you're in the positive by about $100. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. And then I pull this letter from Department of State out of my pocket and slide it through the window. And I was like, can you explain this to me then? Because I applied for my passport, and they told me that it was denied because I'm behind on child support. And this guy immediately knew what was going on. And I later in the day, I ended up sending an email to the Department of Health and Human Services website just to say how I've always had such a great experience with these people that work there. It's probably a thankless job. It's the type of job where it would be very easy for all of these people to come to work and go through the motions. They're working for a government agency of some sort. They can just come in, go through the motions, and say fuck you to everyone that walks in the door. They could do that, and they don't, because every time that I've had an interaction with these people at child support, at the child support office, which thankfully isn't very often, but every interaction that I've had with them has been nothing but positive. They've been such good people. So he explains it to me real quick. He says, here's the problem. Here's what happened. Here's how we're going to make it right. And it's going to slow down your process on getting your passport by about 4 or 5 days, but we're going to fix this, and it'll be fine. So at least there's that. And I'll get my passport. Maybe even by the end of the year. Maybe by the end of 2022, I'll have my passport. And who knows? Who knows what I'll do with it then? Who knows where we'll go? We've been talking for 2 years now about places that we want to go. Like, I know we both want to go to Ireland. We both want to go to Egypt. We definitely both want to go to Africa. I think that someplace, down in the Caribbean might be a little more easy to afford in the short term. Those flights and those trips usually seem to be a little less expensive. Like Africa was like $1,200 for a flight. So we might have to hold off on that one. I would love to be like, well, if I'm flying in a 12-hour flight across the Atlantic, then I want to fly in first class. But first class tickets are so fucking expensive. I've gotten to fly business class across the Atlantic on a trip overseas, but never first class. And I did get to go up to the cockpit on a 747 on my way overseas once, and I walked through the first class cabin to get there, and it looks really nice. But it's super expensive. If you're flying as a civilian, it's crazy expensive. I want to say it was like $4,000, something like that. So, at least there's that. At least I'm working on it. All right, moving on. Ro and I, the other night, went to our first casino together. My first casino at all. I've never been to a casino at all. We went to the other night last week. We went to a seminar that was held at it's called the Brook, and it's in Seabrook, New Hampshire, and it used to be a dog track, and then it was closed for a long time, and then it reopened as a legit casino. And nothing like the casinos you probably see in like Vegas or something like that, but it is a legit casino. And They got the slot machines, a ton of slot machines, mostly slot machines. And then they got blackjack tables and relay tables and, excuse me, a sports area, all that shit. So, we did our little, the seminar that we went to. It was 3 hours long, I think. And then we finished up with that. And then her and I went out and we did a couple slots. And I won on slots. She gave me, she hands me $20 because I was just going to sit down and fucking watch her. I didn't really have an interest in doing, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I have literally no idea what I'm doing at these things. So we sit down at one, and she puts in 20, and then she hands me 20, and she's like, here, put that in. So I slide my 20 in, and I don't know, I'm just hitting fucking random buttons. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I won $64. So, hey, whatever. Then I was up, and then I was like, okay, that's enough. And then we went to another set of slot machines. I took $20 out of my own wallet, slid that in, and I won 16 cents. So, yeah, after that, I was like, nope, I'm done. But I am very glad that I am in a very stable relationship, very stable and happy relationship right now. Because if that place had been open in 2008, 9, 10, 11, when I was single, it would have been bad. I would have been there all the time. I would have been there constantly. Yeah, it would have been ugly. I would have lost a lot of fucking money. So glad it wasn't open back then. Glad we got to have the experience, but definitely I think that we both still definitely want to go to Vegas at some point. I mean, we have so many plans of places that we want to go, and we've only begun to scratch. We haven't even. I wouldn't even venture to say we've scratched the surface. Like, we have 40 or more bars here in Portsmouth alone that we want to go see. That we want to go to and have a drink, and we've been to like 10 of them maybe. So we still have plenty to do. And thankfully, as far as I'm concerned, we have plenty of time. At least I certainly hope that we have plenty of time. Unfortunately, you never know when it's going to be your last day. So, all right, I got to wrap up here in a minute, but there are a couple other things that I wanted to fucking touch on. How long have I been going? 52 minutes? Not bad. What will I wrap up on? Let's see here. All right, maybe I'll hit 2 topics, okay? First of all, the last 2 episodes, this one and the last one, I've recorded from this nice... Oh, by the way, yeah, the reason, if you're watching the live show, the reason that there's a casino behind me is because we went to a casino, and it was fun. So I was feeling in a casino mood tonight. So if you're watching the live show, just imagine me talking to you from a blackjack table. I'm recording from this new desk. So we, for Christmas, like a few weeks ago now, it was Black Friday weekend, actually. Well, no, actually, it was well before that. Probably about a month ago now, we were talking about Christmas, and we were talking about, like, well, what do you want? What do you want? And we just keep getting bigger and bigger on the Christmas gifts that we give each other. We just keep spending more and more money. And we both agreed that we wanted to tone it down this year, spend a little less money, right? So I had suggested, well, what if, because I think at the moment that we're having this conversation, she had also been saying, like, I want to get, X, Y, and Z. There's a couple things that I want to get for the apartment. And I said, well, what if for Christmas we agree to go in half on one of those things? We'll pick out something, whether it be a desk, a mattress, a table, an entertainment center, a fireplace, whatever. We'll pick something out, and we'll each pay half for it, and that will be our big gift to each other, is this thing. And so, we were both sold on the idea. We both liked it. And then Black Friday weekend, we went out and did some shopping, and then after we were done with our shopping, we went and got a drink at a bar, and we're sitting at the bar talking about this. What we wanted was a fireplace. We wanted like a, I don't want to call, she calls it an entertainment center. I think of that as more of a boxy thing that's like, 6 feet, 7 feet tall, and the TV sits in the middle. That's what I think of when I think of entertainment center. This is more of like almost like a table, in my opinion. Kind of like, not quite a coffee table, but it's got a tabletop. But I guess I don't know how to fucking describe it. But either way, so she says, we're sitting there at the bar having a drink, and she was like, "Oh, well, I really like this one, but it's like $400, and I don't know that I want to spend, $200 each on this thing." And she pulls it up, and it happened to be on sale that day for a fucking lot. It was massively reduced. So she sees it, and she was like, "Holy shit! The price dropped on this big time." She was like, "Do you want to buy it now? We can buy this now. I can." She was like, "I have the money to buy this right now, and then you can pay me your half, whenever." And I was like, "Do it. Let's, if that's the one you want, then let's get it. We may as well just fucking bite the bullet and let's fucking do it." And so she did. So she bought it then, and I think it was the same time, or maybe a couple days later, she finds a desk that she liked, for the room that I'm in right now. She finds this desk that she likes, and that she bought herself. So she finds that, and they're both arriving, like they arrived like 2 days apart or something like that. So they both arrive, and I come home, I think it was last Saturday, and we had all these plans of like, we're going to put this desk together. The two of us, we're going to do it at the same, we're going to do this little project together. But she also had some cooking to do, and she had, her own little projects. And so she was like, change of plans. You're going to put the desk together. She's like, you do the man work, and I will do the woman work in the kitchen, right? Call back to earlier in my episode. So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I come home that night, and I think the directions said that the estimated time to complete this little project of putting this desk together was 2 hours. It took me, let's see here, I got home at 8 o'clock. I worked on it until 11 o'clock, and then at 11 o'clock, she was like, "Hey, dinner's ready." At 11 o'clock at night, she was like, "Dinner's ready." So I go downstairs and I eat dinner, and I tell her like, "Yeah, I'm a little more than halfway through the thing right now. I still have some work to do on it." And she says, "Okay, cool. Are you going to do that tomorrow?" I was like, "I'm going to finish this fucking thing tonight. I'm not giving up now. Like, I want to finish this tonight." My fear was that tomorrow would come and I wouldn't have the motivation or the ambition to complete the project. So I was like, I'm going to finish it tonight. So we eat dinner, finish dinner around midnight. I do the dishes, and then I come back and I go back to work on this project. And it took me until like 2 or 2:30 in the morning to finish it. And it was high stress to put this fucking thing together. But I'm glad I got it all done. So there was that. And then over the weekend, we put together the fireplace, which went so much smoother. I think that the estimated time on the fireplace was 2 hours, and it took me like an hour and a half. Like the estimated time, like the directions to put together this desk was 30 directions, 30 pages or whatever, 30 steps. That's the best way to put it. It's 30 steps to put together this desk, and to put together the fireplace was 10 steps. And putting together this fireplace was like most of like a lot of the shit that should have been done, or at least could have been done on the desk, was already done on the fireplace. Like things like door hinges that I had to screw into place on the desk. The door hinges for the fireplace were already screwed in because there was no reason not to mail it like that. No reason not to have that already done at the factory. So either way, got that shit done. So that was good. It was fun, and it's always fun to like do a little project together. Like we did the fireplace together, and it was just fun to, do a thing together. It's always just fun. We've put together a grill together. We've done a coffee table. The desk, I guess I kind of did by myself. We did the futon behind the green screen. We did that together. We did, and then we did this fireplace together, and it was good too to do that one together because like one of the last steps on the fireplace I was having a problem with, and she was like, do you need help? And I was willing to be like, yes, I do. Yeah, could you take a look at these directions with me, because I can't figure out this last step. I can't figure out what it's trying to tell me to do. And she found a video on YouTube of how to do it. So that was good. It was good. It's yeah. She'll post a picture eventually of the fireplace. So, and lastly, I've mentioned, a lot of people who watch this might be like, you're not that funny. Well, fuck you, is what I would say to you. I think I am. So, and I've mentioned a few times about like, and not recently, probably more so in the past, not recently. But wanting to do like, an open mic somewhere. And I've thought, like, if I could just put together like a killer 5 minutes, like just 5 minutes, like just a 5-minute, whether it's a story that's funny for, 5 minutes, or 5 minutes of just random fucking jokes or whatever. I don't know. But I do think that is something that I would like to at least try. Like, there's only, and I don't think that I could be Sebastian or Tom Segura or Bert Kreischer or someone like that. Like, I don't think that I could ever be, a giant. But I do think that I could at least do like open mics. If I could put to, like, cause most of these places, most of these people, Tom Segura, Bill Burr, all these comedians, they started, and there's only like 8,000, I think, truly successful comedians that are like, this is what I do for a living. And it's what I want to do for a living. Like Tom Segura said that he wanted to, he wanted to do acting, and he liked doing comedy, but he really wanted to do acting. And then he did acting, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it more than he liked just doing stand-up comedy. There's only like 8,000 truly successful comedians, but there are fucking hundreds of thousands, if not maybe a few million, open mic guys, people that show up to their little open mics in their area and do their little, do a little 5, because that's how it all starts. Like Tom Segura, Bill Burr, all these people started by doing 5 minutes at open mics. So I don't know. I just think that, but again, that's a time thing of like, what am I willing to spend my time on? What, would I rather, if I have 4 hours available, I had 4 or 5 hours, I guess I technically had 3 hours available tonight, right? Well, I wanted to catch up on some sleep. I need to feed the cats. I need to feed myself. I wanted to, sit on the couch and watch some TV. It's all about where do you want to invest your time, because there's just not enough fucking time. There just is not. There's not enough hours in the day. I hope one day we find a 36-hour planet, or a planet with a 36-hour day, and I would move there in a heartbeat. 36 hours would be fucking great. So, okay. I gotta fucking get up and stretch for a minute before I jump on New England Natives with Tom. I hope those of you that listened and watched and whatever enjoyed the show. Maybe you took something away from it. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Whatever. It's Wednesday and I'm tired already. I hope you all have a great week. And I will talk to you again next week, and we'll see when. I don't know when. Let me take a look. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know what we have going on in our calendar for next week. Yeah, we have nothing in our calendar next week. So if you hear from me next week, it could be Wednesday, it could be Friday, it could be, I don't know. It's next weekend is Christmas. I hope you guys are getting your Christmas shopping done. I think I've mostly gotten my Christmas shopping done. I think that there's a lot of things that I still want to get, but I think that I've gotten most of it done. And the beautiful thing is that I don't see anyone remotely close to needing a present until well after Christmas. So I can focus on one person up until Christmas. Everyone else can come after Christmas. So that's going to do it for me. Suicide prevention line is it 988? Is that the new number that you're supposed to call? I know that it used to be 877-273-TALK. Suicide prevention. 988. Yep, I was right. 988 is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Call that if you're having a fucking problem. If you're having an issue, if you're having a bad day, if you're having thoughts of suicide, whatever your issue is, I know they can help you. I went to a peer-to-peer support training recently with Ro, and they talked about some of their work, and these people, they can help you for sure. Don't forget to check out my handful of sponsors. Strikeforce Energy. Get like 20% off your entire order using offer code adulting. They get all sorts of like energy supplements, little pouches that you can put in fucking whatever you want to drink. Anything that you want to drink, you take this little pouch, you pour it into your vodka if you want to. I don't care. Put it in your beer, put it in your water, put it in whatever you want. It's a little energy supplement. It's a delicious little thing. StrikeForceEnergy.com. 4HMClothing.com. My friend Justin and all of his various clothing items that he sells there. Last time I checked, he was even selling some shoes. 4HMClothing.com. Use offer code adulting. Get 10% off for your order over $50. And Manscaped.com. Offer code adulting. 20% off your entire order. And that's it. That's going to do it for me. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.